If you want to connect apps and automate tasks without writing code, Zapier Webhooks are one of the most powerful tools you can learn. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Zapier Webhooks step by step so you can receive data from other apps, trigger automations in real time, and build workflows that actually save you time. And if this tutorial helps you out, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more easy software guides just like this. Alright, let's jump in. First, open your web browser and go to Zapier. Once the page loads, sign into your account so you can access the Zapier dashboard. If you already have an account, just log in as usual. After you're in, look for the Create button. Click it, then choose Zap Workflows. This is where you'll start building the automation. Now, you're inside the Zap editor, and the first thing you need is a trigger. The trigger is the event that starts your automation. Click on the trigger step to begin. On the app selection screen, search for Webhooks by Zapier. This is the app Zapier uses to receive or send webhook data. Select it as your trigger app. Next, Zapier will ask you to choose a webhook event. You'll usually see a few different options, and it's important to pick the one that matches your use case. Catch hook is the most common choice for real-time automations because it receives data instantly from another app. Catch raw hook is useful if you want the original, unmodified request data. Retrieve poll is different because it checks a URL on a schedule for new data instead of receiving it instantly. For most people, catch hook is the best option, especially if you want a simple real-time setup. After selecting your event, Zapier may ask you to configure the webhook. In some cases, you'll see a field called child key. This lets you capture a specific part of the incoming data if the payload contains multiple layers of information. If you only want a certain section of the data, you can enter the relevant child key here. But if you want Zapier to receive the entire payload, just leave it blank. That is often the easiest option when you're starting out. Once the setup is complete, Zapier will generate a unique webhook URL for you. This URL is extremely important because it acts like the address where another app sends its data. Copy the webhook URL carefully. You'll need to paste it into the external app that will send the information to Zapier. Now open the application that you want to connect. This could be a form tool, a CRM, a website builder, or any platform that supports webhooks. Go into that app's webhook or integration settings, then paste the Zapier webhook URL into the correct field. Make sure to save the changes so the connection is stored properly. At this point, it's a good idea to send test data. Trigger a sample event from the connected application, like submitting a form, creating a test record, or running a demo action. Then go back to Zapier and check whether the webhook received the data. Zapier should show you the incoming payload, including the fields it captured. Review those fields carefully so you can make sure everything is coming through correctly before you continue. If the test looks good, you're ready for the final step. Add any actions you want Zapier to perform after it receives the webhook. For example, you could send an email, create a spreadsheet row, update a CRM contact, or post a message in another app. Once your action steps are in place, test the full workflow from start to finish. If everything works as expected, publish your Zap or turn it on to activate the automation. And that's how you use Zapier webhooks. Once you understand the basic flow, it becomes much easier to connect your favorite tools and automate repetitive work in a smarter way. If this video helped, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.